What if meron tayong ginagamit na tubig sa ating mga establishment, sa ating mga activities na gumagamit ng tubig, gaya na lamang ng paglilinis, sa ating mga sanitation facilities, gaya sa comfort rooms, kailangan natin ng tubig, o sa ating processing or manufacturing activities, meron tayong mga ginagamit na tubig. And mamaya magkakaroon na tayo ng mga tubig na may mga kasamang dumi or contaminated na ito ng mga chemicals at itatapon na natin ito pabalik sa environment. At this point, matututunan natin ang mga kailangan i-consider kapag mayroong itatapon na tubig at anong mga authorization o permit ang kailangang kunin at ano naman ang ating mga dapat isaalang-alang pagdating sa compliances sa mga batas na pumoprotekta sa ating mga katubigan. Ang Philippine Clean Water Act ay napirmahan po ito at naisa batas noong 2004 through the former President of the Republic of the Philippines, Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. Pinirmahan ito or signed into law on March 22, 2004 in celebration of World Water Day. Siyempre, upon publication, merong effectivity ang batas na to sa panahon na May 6, 2004. At lumabas naman ang implementing rules and regulation signed by the Secretary of the DNR, Michael Defensor. At ito ay noong May 16, 2005. It was published in the Manila Times and Manila Standard. Kaya nag-effect na ang IRR noong May 26, 2005. Ang Philippine Clean Water Act of 2004 ay mas kilala sa Republic Act number 9275. Ang implementing rules and regulations nito ay through the DNR Administrative Order 2005-10. Now, sa Section 3 ng batas na ito, the Philippine Clean Water Act of 2004, ay tinutukoy ang coverage. At itong ang batas na to ay ina-apply to water quality management in all water bodies. Naka-focus ang batas na ito on abatement and control of pollution from land-based sources. So meron tayong iba't ibang klase ng tubig sa ating bansa at ito yung fresh water, brackish water, and marine water. Kasama siya, covered siya ng batas na ito for its protection. Siyempre, protection from land-based sources of pollution, ito yung mga discharges from different sources of waste generation like sa commercial, industrial, and domestic activities. Ang ang Section 4 ng batas na ito ay nagbibigay ng kaliwanagan sa mga ginagamit na terminologies. Gaya po ng point source. Per Section 4, it means identifiable source of pollution with a specific point of discharge into a particular water body. Ang effluent naman ay dinidefine dito. It means discharges from known source which is passed into a body of water or land or wastewater flowing out of a manufacturing plant, industrial plant, including domestic, commercial, and recreational facilities. At itong effluent na ito ay papunta ito sa ating mga water bodies at yan po yung pinoproteksyonan ng batas na ito. So ang ating mga point source of pollution na merong mga effluent na itinatapon sa ating mga water bodies are regulated under this law. So Iba't ibang mga sources of wastewater generation gaya sa commercial, industrial, institutional, and agricultural sectors. Yan yung mga activities na dapat bibigyan ng pansin, yung mga direct discharges ng wastewater sa ating water bodies. So, itong ating mga end of pipe, itong ating mga discharges sa ating mga ah, katubigan galing sa iba't ibang sources of wastewater generation or sa point sources of water pollution para ma-protectionan po ang ating katubigan. So whether tayo ay nasa commercial, industrial, institutional, or agricultural, we must consider ano yung impact ng ating wastewater discharge sa ating water bodies. Now, sa Section 5 ng batas na ito ay nakatalaga ang tinatawag na Water Quality Management Area. At ang department tumutukoy sa DNR in coordination with NWRB kailangan mag-designate ng mga areas as water quality management area such as sa mga watershed, river basins, or water resources regions. Sa ating bansa, meron tayong napakarami ng river basins, watersheds, at saka water resource region na na-designate as water quality management area. At itong water quality management area is governed by a governing board composed of representatives of mayors and governors, of member local government units, and representatives of relevant national government agencies, duly registered non-governmental organization, water quality sector, and business sector. Maraming lugar sa ating bansa, ito na yung may mga department orders na na-issue ang DNR sa iba't ibang regions ng ating bansa. Now, ang areas na nasa jurisdiction ng Laguna Lake Development Authority ay isa lamang doon sa management area na nasa administration naman ng Laguna Lake Development Authority. Ang Section 7 ng batas na ito ay tumutukoy naman sa National Sewerage and Septage Management Program na inaasahan ang mga local government units ay magkaroon ng mga significant projects for the sewerage, septage, and combined sewerage septage project. At naglabas na dyan ang DILG or Department of the Interior and Local Government ng policy and guidelines on sewage treatment and sewage management system. So sa iba't ibang local government units, dapat merong mga ma-establish na sewerage and septage management system through the enactment of an ordinance. Gaya itong nakikita natin on the right, yan yung isang treatment facility sa isang local government unit. Now, this treatment plant ay in compliance doon sa Section 7 National Sewerage and Septage Management Program para sa isang particular local government unit. In Article 2 of Republic Act 9275, tumutukoy na ito doon sa water pollution permits and charges at patuloy sa Section 13 na nagkakaroon tayo ng tinatawag na wastewater charge system. This system was established on the basis of payment to the government for discharging wastewater into the water bodies. Now, in conformity with this section, meron naman din tayong Section 14 na tinatawag na Wastewater Discharge Permit, which is a kind of permit issued by the DNR as a legal authorization to discharge wastewater within the prescribed limit. At dito sa permit, nag-specify ng quantity and quality of the effluent or discharge at yung compliance schedule and monitoring requirement. Ngayon, paano ba kinukuha ang discharge permit? Paano ito, sino nag-i-issue nito? Well, ang pagkuha ng discharge permit ay of course depende sa may jurisdiction. So, nearly lahat ng lugar sa ating bansa ay under the jurisdiction of the DNR through the Environmental Management Bureau. So, kumukuha tayo ng discharge permit sa DNR at may mga area sa ating bansa tinatawag na Laguna de Bay Region na nasa administration ng Laguna Lake Development Authority. So, kung ang ating facility or establishment ay nasa Laguna de Bay Region, sa Laguna Lake Development Authority tayo kukuha ng discharge permit. Now, basically, ina-apply ang pagkuha ng permit. So under DNR jurisdiction, dito tayo nag-a-apply ng discharge permit through online permitting and monitoring system. Nag-create lang tayo dito ng account at nililink natin yung account ng OPMS sa CRS. At kapag na-link na natin ang CRS information sa ating OPMS account, we can now utilize the features of this system, among many, the application of discharge permit. So sa loob ng online permitting and monitoring system, we will be providing information. We will complete the steps 1 to 6 hanggang sa isubmit natin ito sa EMB. And once approved, diyan na rin natin ma-download ang ating discharge permit. So hindi na tayo nag-a-apply manually, hindi na rin tayo nag-fill up ng application form manually. Dito na sa online permitting and monitoring system, ang pag-fill up ng form at i-generate na lang ang application form, and once na ma-generate, i-print or sasaynan ng pollution control officer at ng managing head at ipapanotarize, and then i-upload uli sa system along with other documentary requirements. Now, doon naman po sa mga nasa jurisdiction ng LLDA o tinatawag natin na Laguna de Bay Region, nasa administration ng LLDA, ang pag-secure ng discharge permit ay manually, and we will be submitting manual application form duly notarized along with other requirements. At meron tayong triplicate copies, dalawa sa kanila ang ibibigay na sets at isa yung ating receiving copy. They are advising the applicant to pay first the prescribed application fees or yung assessment fees bago nila i-receive ang application natin. And meron tayong marireceive na copy ng discharge permit within the prescribed time or processing time like 21 days. So babalik na lang tayo sa kanilang opisina para ma-pick up after or within 21 days. Kapag mayroong mga kailangang i-clarify, kailangang uh, requirements na ipasa, magno-notify naman siyempre ang office nila. At doon sa OPMS, kung meron ding need na i-clarify o additional requirements, magre-remarks din dito sa OPMS. So, parehas lang naman ang procedure. Now, those who are in the following provinces, cities, or municipalities na nasasambit. Ito po yung mga nasa loob ng Laguna de Bay Region under the administration of Laguna Lake Development Authority. Gaya ng Rizal, Laguna, selected cities and municipalities ng Batangas, sa Cavite, selected cities and municipalities, in Quezon Province, particularly Lukban, at sa Metro Manila ang Taguig, Caloocan, Pasay, Muntinlupa, Manila, Pasig City, Marikina, Quezon City, and Municipality of Pateros. So itong mga nasambit na probinsya o cities and municipalities ay nasa loob ng Laguna de Bay Region at nasa administration ng Laguna Lake Development Authority. So ang ating discharge permit ay i-apply sa LLDA kung nandyan tayo sa loob ng sinabing Laguna de Bay Region. So hindi na tayo mag-a-apply sa DNR kundi sa LLDA na lamang. Ang mga requirements for discharge permit application, it varies from the office with jurisdiction. Sa usapang jurisdiction ng DNR, ang mga requirements ay depende pa din sa type of application, like if this is a new application or for renewal. Kapag new application, ang mga requirements are presented on the screen. Hindi nawawala ang application form at computer generated po ito. So both new and renewal application ng discharge permit, kailangan yung notarized application form at yung copy ng Environmental Compliance Certificate or Certificate of Non-Coverage. Hinahanap lalong-lalo ito for the first time. At yung copy po ng PCO accreditation or appointment letter as PCO. The DNR ID number as reflected po sa Hazardous Waste Generator Registration Certificate, the copy of the water billing statement, at kung walang connection sa local water provider, yung copy ng water permit. Ang water permit naman ay issued ng National Water Resources Board. Pinapasa din natin ang mga drawing plans and layouts, vicinity map, and then wastewater line layout at signed and sealed by a registered sanitary or chemical engineer. Nagpapasa din tayo ng engineer's report and other documents na necessary na hinihingi po ng ating mga evaluator from DENR EMB. Siyempre, ang isa pa sa requirement na hindi mawawala ay yung proof of payment doon sa prescribed fees, yung application fee at saka load-based fee. Kapag renewal na ang application, ibang sets of requirements na naman gaya nung application form, copy ng latest wastewater discharge permit, copy ng PCO accreditation or appointment letter, the DNR ID number, the copy of the recent laboratory result of water sampling, at kung hindi naman required ng water testing, yung proof of siphoning. Ang proof of siphoning issued syempre ng mga DOH recognized service provider. Copy of the self-monitoring report, the proof of compliance to permit conditions, and the proof of payment. At kung may mga iba pang requirements na ihihingin ang EMB sa applicant, ipapasa po ito. So those are the sets of requirements in applying for discharge permit under DENR. Now, those who are renting a commercial space or building or complex, yung mga tenant ng mall, syempre we are connected to the building drainage. Pwede po ma-exempt tayo for discharge permit. At yung pong operator or owner or lessor ng building, siya po ang responsible to secure the discharge permit. Kung tayo naman ay mga locators inside industrial park or connected tayo sa mga public sewer line. Kung ito yung mga ating situation or scenario, basta kailangan lang natin ma-establish na hindi tayo responsible sa pagdi-discharge. So we can seek certificate of interconnection sa mga owner, sa mga lessor, o sa mga operator ng building o ng treatment system, public sewer line, para equivalent document natin as compliance. We are not actually fully exempt. Ibig sabihin lang nailipat lang yung responsibility. So, ang gagawin pa din naman, um, magpapakita tayo ng Certificate of Interconnection na ma-establish lang na hindi tayo responsible for the discharge. Ang ating mga establishments, meron tayong mga sources of wastewater generation. Ang totoo, ang mga pinupunta na tubig ay mga water bodies. So, posible na magkaroon tayo na mga wastewater discharges na makakaapekto sa ating water bodies. In Section 27 ng batas na ito na ipapakita ipapakita yung mga activities that are prohibited at kapag nangyari ito, nakita sa atin, pwede tayo ma-issuehan ng notice of violation. Now, pag na-issuehan ka ng notice of violation, lalong-lalo paglabag nga sa provision ng Clean Water Act, may mga imposition of fine and penalty. Pero kung nagkakaroon ng um, high impact sa ating water bodies, yung activities na yan, at nagkaroon talaga ng complaint at talagang nakita na bumabagsak na sa mga standard set ng DNR. So nagkakaroon ng mga exceedances sa concentration ng mga parameters na minomonitor natin at nakita rin ng DNR EMB. Pwedeng ma-elevate po yan sa Pollution Adjudication Board at pwede rin mag-issue ang PUB ng CDO para immediately ma-stop yung activities that cause or threaten to cause serious environmental harm, particularly on water, air, or land pollution. So bilang mga professionals, kailangan nating mag-observe doon sa mga environmental standards. Kailangan nating i-observe yung mga conditions sa ating permit para maiwasan yung mga violations sa Clean Water Act at magkaroon ng closure or halt of operations. May mga naset po na mga fine and penalty, especially as exemplified in Pollution Adjudication Board, Resolution number 5 Series of 2021. At base sa implementation ng Philippine Clean Water Act, yung pong tungkol sa fines and penalties na dapat hindi bababa ng 10,000 at hindi rin lalagpas sa 200,000 pesos. Now, sa mga common na mga violation, yung nag-ooperate ng walang discharge permit, may fine na 25,000 pesos at doon naman sa exceedances sa mga standard, especially yung general effluent standard, pwedeng on a daily basis na po ito. At titingnan siyempre kung meron ding criminal ah, context ito. Like if we violate Section 25, yung prohibited acts, such as dumping of waste and discharging of water pollutants, kung ma-establish yung criminal liability, lalong-lalo yung particular elements na establish po like waste is dumped into the water source, water pollutants are discharged into the water source, water pollutant is verified to harm the water source, pwedeng magkaroon ng ganitong criminal liability. Now, meron din yung kung merong nag-complain, so we have complainant or offended party. Kapag kung ang issue ay dumping of waste or discharge of water pollutant, kailangan din nung complainant or nung offended party na mag-establish ng evidence like water sample, waste sample, water pollutant sample, results of the examination or analysis of the sample. At yan po ay kailangan. Establishing the criminal liability of a person arrested requires a determination of the particular elements of the offense committed. Now, yan po ang tinutukoy sa sinasabi natin na Clean Water Act. So, dapat maalala natin na after the passage of Republic Act 9275 or Clean Water Act, it's not already our choice to comply, but a mandate. At sa mga pollution control officer, duly designated or appointed in the facility or establishment, kailangan mag-monitor to monitor activities, probably in collaboration or coordination with EMB accredited environmental laboratory, so that ma-prevent yung mga possible pollution sa immediate water body. At kailangan ang PCO mag-promote ng environmental sustainability in the workplace. Magkaroon ng mga water conservation program, magkaroon ng mga construction or pag install ng mga water pollution control devices or mga wastewater treatment system para maiwasan yung mga exceedance to standards set by DNR at talagang maging malinis yung pong tubig na tinatapon sa water body. It's the duty of the PCO and the managing head to comply with the requirements of major environmental laws, among many, RA 9275. So thank you very much everyone for time listening. At if you want to know more about environmental compliance, environmental management, please subscribe to this channel. Please share this video. Please like this video. And you are also encouraged to ask questions. Thank you very much for time listening and God bless us all.